Remember the Council of Nicea? When Constantine and all his church bishops solved the Arian controversy and banished Arius, and by doing that had stopped all bickering in the Catholic Church forever? Yeah, that didn't last very long. The Arian bishops that claimed to stop being Arians after the Council of Nicea didn't keep that lie up for more than 5 minutes. Within months, they were preaching Arius' teachings again, and some were using their influence with Constantine to try and change his mind. You see, Constantine spent most of his time in the East because that's where all the action was in the Roman Empire at the time. And, coincidentally, where Arianism was most popular. So Constantine found himself surrounded by pro-Arian bishops. He was eventually convinced to bring Arius back out of exile, and even flipped completely by exiling the anti-Arian bishop of Alexandria, a very important man called Athanasius, who replaced Alexander from the last episode when he died. Now Constantine tried to get Arius back into Alexandria, but riots kept breaking out. This, along with some very stern letters from St. Anthony, convinced Constantine to flip-flop again. He recalled Arius to Constantinople to question him on his beliefs a final time. But before going to Constantine, Arius passed through the Forum of Constantinople. While chatting there confidently with friends, making jokes, and all in all having a great time, he felt a sudden and violent rumbling in his bowels. He quickly runs and finds a quiet corner in the Forum behind a column and squats down, but just then he falls face forward and sharts himself to death. Now, a lot of reports of this shart event do come from Arius' enemies, but because there are so many different accounts of this deadly sharting, we kind of have to take it seriously. This didn't end the controversy though, and Athanasius would stay exiled until after Constantine died. But let's move on from religious and other issues. Constantine had followed a lot of policies that Diocletian had started, except for one, the whole power sharing thing. Throughout his reign, Constantine never once thought of appointing another Augustus or co-emperor. He had made all of his sons Caesars, his sons who were, in such Roman fashion, named Constantine II, Constantius, and Constans. Here we see Constantine pioneering the George Foreman method of child naming. The only one of them with a creative name, Crispus, was killed, probably because of it. During his tricennalia or anniversary of 30 years in power, Constantine promoted his two nephews, son of his half-brother Dalmathius, to key positions in the Senate. Dalmathius Jr. became another Caesar along with Constantine's sons, and Halabanianus was made king of Pontus and king of kings. Why did Halabanianus get promoted to king of kings, you may be asking? 1, to piss off the Persians, whose title that actually was, and 2, because Hannibalianus is a great badass name, and that needs to be rewarded. With 5 people now ranking as Caesars, Constantine was essentially diluting the glory of the title, which might seem vain, but this is Constantine. By 337, it was obvious that the Persian king Shapur II wanted to expand his territory. Constantine had spent the winter in Asia Minor mobilizing his troops, but after he returned to Constantinople to oversee the completion of the Church of the Holy Apostles, he gave the order to have his tomb prepared in that church. His health began failing rapidly, and he tried using the baths at Helenopolis to cure whatever he had. But when that didn't work, he tried to return to Constantinople, but once he got to Nicomedia, it became clear that he wasn't going to go much further. He called the local bishops, and after waiting his entire life, Constantine the Great was finally baptized, by an Arian bishop nonetheless, just to add another layer of complexity to that issue. Now you may be wondering why Constantine waited so long to be baptized. This is the first Christian Roman emperor. Why would he wait until he's on his deathbed? Well, running an empire means getting your hands dirty on a fairly frequent basis. And baptism was supposed to entirely cleanse the soul of all sins. Early Christians used it as a kind of get out of hell free card, and Constantine wasn't going to let that kind of opportunity just slip by. After a 31-year long reign, the longest since the actual Augustus, Constantine the Great died on Sunday the 22nd of May, 337 AD. I don't like the whole great man telling of history, but Few people have made an impact quite like Constantine. That doesn't make him a good person, just an important one. His choice to convert to Christianity had enormous effects on the entire world, and the construction of Constantinople changed European and Middle Eastern history. His limited understanding of his new religion caused massive problems long after his death, and even though he is a literal saint, he can hardly be called benevolent. This guy did snuff out multiple family members and his supposed imperial tetrarchal brothers. His inability to delegate power and his unwillingness to set up any kind of succession will unfortunately throw away a lot of the stability that he and Diocletian before him worked to create. So here ends our story on Constantine. He is a central figure in the human story, and it's difficult to separate the man from the myth, but we need to move on with our history of the Byzantine Empire. So be sure to come back for the next episode, as Constantine's sons will be at each other's throats almost immediately, and an imperial bloodbath ensues. Thanks very much for watching this episode. I know it's been a very long time since the last one, and I apologise for that. The next one will be out a lot sooner. In the meantime, if you'd like to keep up with anything else I do, you can see my Twitter, Patreon and other links in the description down below, along with the sources. Hope you enjoyed this video, thanks for watching, and have a nice day.